think we're going to get started. I just want to remind people to mute your microphones whilst Myra gets started. I just want to also welcome you all to another weekly Wednesday workshop with Ascending Tribe. And obviously this week we have Myra taking us through her wisdom and sharing her value. And I know that you're going to start off with a grounding session, Myra. So if you would...
starting off by setting my arm alight.
I'm also sorry, can I just remind people that this is recorded and it will be going up on the YouTube, but also if you want to add questions or comments, you can use the chat box below. Myra, if you'd like to take it away.
How is everybody?
Good.
Are you riding the waves?
Definitely.
Okay, so let's just, hello there. Let's just ground into our session that we're going to share together so that we're all nice and safe to connect to those parts we want to connect to today. So just becoming really aware of your physical vessel, the avatar for your consciousness, for your soul. Bear with me on any noises that come out of my mouth that aren't necessarily English. That is sound healing. And as I merge with my higher self, hi Joshua. As I merge with my higher self, it just starts to happen. I can't even stop it. So bear with me. So I'll introduce myself a little bit in a second, but let's just ground in. So in and around your physical body, you have your energy field. And just imagining this now as it is a grid of light. With a horizontal plane and a vertical plane. So you're aware of your physical body and your energy field around your physical body. And there is a central channel of energy, which we're going to see as a line of light, column of light, within this grid of light in and around your physical body. And just taking the inhalation up to the top of the head. So the height of the inhalation, just opening your crown. And the exhalation, moving all the way down that central channel. And just gathering at the root. Gathering at the base of the spine. With each breath, just really pulling your consciousness fully into this moment right now. Grounding in, centering in. We need to do this often. At the moment. Grounding into the present. And on the next exhalation, just allowing that root chakra to open fully. And that column of light to flow down and out through the root. Into the earth and into the center of your Earth Star chakra. Earth Star chakra, one of your 5D chakra system. And locking into the crystalline grid of 5D Earth. Allowing your grounding cords to descend right down through that crystalline grid. All the way down into the center of Tara, 5D Earth. And you can just let that ascension energy from the crystalline grid start to rise up into your Earth Star and gently into your field. Ascension light just starting to purify your field from any third density consciousness. Any fear. And as you let it rise and you breathe it away, you breathe it down into Earth and out into the universal grid, back out to source for healing, for transformation. And we call in that light from the unity grid into your space. It's a golden diamond light. Just imagine it pouring in from above, sealing your space. Allow it to embrace and cover every surface in your room. Ascension light, unity consciousness, flowing in pure love, yes. Sealing your space from any negative interference. And sealing your field as you breathe that light into your field. And call it on your higher self to merge with you now. And your I am presence to come be with you and just be with you, taking care of all of the information that you're ready to receive for your highest will and good on your ascension journey. And we can just create a unified field of light. Pure light, pure love. Completely sealed this space that we share now for the next short hour. Okay, and just allow yourself to settle back into your body. Nice and embodied, grounding in, taking all that light and expansion with you into this moment. So Alex, I don't know where you are. I don't know whether you wanted to ask me some questions or whether you
Yes, I'm here. That was beautiful. Thank you so much for doing that, Myra. Really
That's a
felt
pleasure.
that.
Nice to just get present. We start from this, we start manifesting tomorrow from now.
I really felt like I needed that after the week I've been having.
bloody hell, I tell you what, a week. Activating self-remembrance. Gosh, and so there are so many ways to, I won't say skin a cat because of any, skin a carrot. There are many ways. And so I was just meditating on that today. And my guides just said, why don't you just do a nice little soul star activation? So I don't want to be teaching anyone to suck eggs here. I don't know you guys, but I'll maybe tell you a little bit about me. So I was born in the 70s, and with quite a few of my gifts and abilities already online. Yeah, already online. So the veil was already very thin for me. This was the 70s, so this was not wasn't easy being an empath and clairsentient and all of this in the 70s with the amount of emotional support we had. So, but I didn't become aware that I was perceiving the world any differently to most people until I was 21. So that was in 95. And that's when I found out I was a channel. But when I placed my hands on people, they would go crazy hot and people would start feeling all this stuff. And it started to kind of make sense of what my life had been like. So, but, still, I guess it wasn't something I was searching for. It wasn't like, oh, healing sounds fun, I'm going to go on a course and do that. This was something that was just occurring, in increments over the course of my life. So 95, 96, I had a massive, I was living in South Africa at the time with a boy I loved, and I had a massive car crash. And not that that's funny, I came out unscathed. We crashed the car at 90 miles an hour and it rolled 7 times and I came out, fine. And I think this is where things sort of started to shift for me, because when the car finished crashing, I had this kind of, I really clearly heard this instruction. And the instruction was, in 1996, 1, Myra, stop effing around now. you got stuff to do with your life. And at the time I was doing graphic design or whatever. And the second thing was, you got to go back to the UK, which I definitely didn't want to do. And the third thing was, which was random, was you got to stop watching any mainstream media news or never read the newspaper ever again. 1996, and I haven't ever touched a newspaper since that time, and I followed those instructions, and I don't know why. I was 22. But there was some thing driving like it's driving us now. There's this driver, we know it's elusive, don't know quite what that is, but I believe it's that we've come back to do this together, this ascension, this push for humanity.
Can I just ask, did you have a near-death experience?
I had a very crazy time after that period. For quite some time, I thought it was just like trauma, but when the car was about to, before the crash, so in South Africa in those days, you didn't wear seat belts, people would drink and drive because there was no public transport and whatever. And on this one occasion, my boyfriend was driving because I had some drink, and I'm hopeless on drink anyway. So just before we crashed, I saw this car wreck, and there was someone hanging out of the car, dead. And I said to my boyfriend, I was like, let's put our belts on now. And he was like, and I was like, let's just do it. And literally 3 minutes later, we were having this crash. And before it happened, everything slowed right down. I was in this bliss state. It was so calm. It was like the stillest water, even though I knew I had a whole conversation. I'm just about to die. And that's okay. And I'm okay with that. And I reflected on what I'd done with my life so far, and I felt okay. And yeah, it was remarkable, really, because my boyfriend was 6'5" and I'm 5'3", and the car landed every time on my side. And by the time the crash finished, the ceiling, the roof of the car was lower. I just clenched on here. I was like, we're going to crash. And I got myself into a little ball. I just kept my eyes open. I was in this little ball. And every time it was landing on my side, and then the ceiling, I've never talked about this story actually, was lower than the base of the headrest. And on his side, and he'd passed out, on his side, it had popped up and allowed space for him, and we were both unscathed.
That is crazy.
Amazing.
How you experienced quite a lot of messages after that then? Do you feel like that is something reconnected you then? Or were you
Yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of time wanting to commit suicide after that. There was a lot of darkness. So I was either rebirthing, someone has suggested to me I had a walk-in, but whatever. I mean, all I can really, I have some crazy freaking flashbacks, right? I don't have all the pieces. Like, this journey has been long, and I had to master being a human being, like really master being human, so that when the starseed aspect of us woke up on planet Earth, I was grounded and ready for the mission, which is not to want to jump off the face of the planet. It's to bring, like, we are some of the most incredible species in this universe. The genetics that took place to manifest this body that could hold consciousness on this planet is unreal, right? So when we are remembering, and I did it over the periods of 40, it's only really in 2018 did I wake up to my multi-dimensional self fully, like really. So I am totally, and the amount of information they have been giving me, so it's like I feel like I'm picking up all this stuff and know nothing. Do you know what I mean? So I'm so learning, but it's the teacher learning, teaching, like
dynamic. Yeah. Do you feel that you get to like jump different timelines and experience different timelines?
Definitely done all of that, and periodically, and I've used language over my lifetime which I didn't understand. I used to say to people, because for 12 years, like, I wasn't allowed any external input. I was only to learn through my channel, which was, I don't know, you just think you're nuts. But I wasn't allowed to read. They literally would film my eyes, so I couldn't. And every so often, I feel like I'd lost all my gifts. And I panic. And then suddenly I'd get this whole new surge of energy, and they would tell me that I was being wired into an upgrade, into a new matrix. And I didn't understand any of this. And they used to tell me when I was doing sessions with people, code this. And I didn't know what they were talking about, but I would say it. Code this, whatever, happiness, doing all this stuff. So for a long time, I was just, so now I'm getting kind of a left brain action of stuff that I've learned, very right brain. So I'm getting a nice balance now, and it makes so much sense. It makes so much sense, yeah.
How does it come to you?
Sorry?
Is it like words in your head? How does it come to you? Is it words in your head, or do you hear it in your head, or is it just an automatic knowing?
Oh, always,
Yeah. Or is it
because
visual?
this is the thing, you know, our original template is a 12-strand DNA template, you know, and currently we're working off 2, right? And you know how amazing we are already. And so, but originally we were created as this angelic human. That's what we are, the angelic human, with all these amazing gifts, you know, like telepathy and telekinesis and teleportation and clairtaction, which is like clairsentience, you know, when you can feel stuff in your body, but long distance. So I can like immediately feel you if you're on the other side of the world, you know. So loads of these, I mean, there's hundreds of gifts. And we were suppressed. Now, I'm not a historian, and but you know, at some stage we were suppressed, and this is what this process that we're going through now is. This, it's like our DNA was reversed, and we are coming back up to our divine sovereign structure, you know. So that junk DNA, because the universe loves making junk, is basically the you know, you have your carbon DNA, and the other stuff is your crystalline, your holographic DNA, and that connects you to your multi-dimensional self. So if you imagine that the DNA is like a receiver and transmitter of energy, like everything is really, and it's receiving information from stargates, higher consciousness, from you know, stargate portals.
How can you advise like how people can activate their own kind of DNA, activate their own, I don't know, is it, can you change your own DNA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. No, you can, and that's the thing. I think you know, we've kind of been raised in a situation where there's always some guru or a master or someone outside of you that has to do this stuff to you, and you know this. But if you have I mean, obviously it's great to have mentors, you know, but whenever I teach healing, I call it Reiki, but whatever, I use many different energy things. My opening line is, you don't need me, you know. It's a question of your DNA waking up. But the thing is, we are encoded, we're programmed. Those that are ready to wake up are programmed, encoded to do it now. And I know that there are some theories that say that, you know, some people won't and go somewhere else and this and that. But my guides always interject me at the moment and always say there is a timeline where everyone ascends at the same time. So to focus on that. But yes, you can activate your own DNA, and the more you the trick is to what is the trick? To master being human, to integrate your experience so far, to do your shadow work, to do your, you know.
So would you say it's individual to each person, basically?
Oh, 100%. There is no one way. And if anyone's telling you there's a way to do something, that's a rubbish. You know, it's like we are our own creation. We create ourselves, you know, we can. You know, but the more you kind of say meditate and get to know yourself, firstly as the one who's paying attention to the thoughts and then the one that is paying attention to the one, paying attention to the thoughts. You start to there, you've shifted into you getting your soul there. And then from there, when you really start to connect with yourself on a soul level, then you start to really branch out. I mean, the way I see it is there's no hurry. Like, the journey is beautiful. You know, we are individual aspects, expressions of God experiencing itself in all ways. There's no right or wrong. I'd say the more you slow down into your ascension or your rebirth, however you want to call it, the more you slow down into it and embrace it, the quicker you pass through. I would say look at the 3D consciousness that has been projected onto you and deal with that first. Those are things like shame and fear, and because that will just keep us in a 3D mindset, you know, because where we're going is no longer relevant. It was a structure for us to learn, you know, we chose, you know, it's part of evolution. Yeah, but of course you can activate your own you have to, like, you can't, no one else can activate your Merkaba, for example, your light body. No one else can do that for you. You have to do it yourself. No one else can heal you. You can't get fixed. We're not waiting. You are the one you're waiting for, always.
What does self-remembrance really truly mean to you? Is that like
I've gone crazy.
But is it like visually remembering what you are, remembering your purpose, remembering your power, like specifically, or is it just kind of all of that? You know, like if someone was to say to you, what does it actually mean to activate and remember who we are, you know?
Well, I mean, gosh, it's like you are in a oh gosh, what is it like? I mean, you know, I'm not walking through walls, let's just put it that way, right? I'm still very human over here. But I do notice that my healing gets stronger, you know, whereas, you know, before I would get knackered after doing a group session, you know, now I find it so easy to just hold that space and, you know, just transform the energy. And I don't know, I feel very, very comfortable with, I spent a lot of my life self-loathing and trying to fit in and being afraid, and all of that is gone. It is gone. And yeah, I'm much happier. And it's not that crap doesn't happen in my life, because it regularly does. But you maybe when you have more dimensions to kind of look at things from,
You understand.
Yeah, you pass through stuff quicker. It's where I'd say it's well worth. Like, when I feel the waves of rebirth coming now, when I go, okay, some more stuff rising to be released, and I've got to look at it and see it and know it and blah, blah, okay. I used to try and run from that very, very far, as fast as I could, rebirth, and so then I would endure more suffering. And now I just go, okay, then let's have it, because I'm not so identified with stuff, I suppose. It's easier to just let stuff go. Yeah, I really believe that, and now, okay, I can just let that go.
Yeah. Do you know if there's a way that we can, like, let go of the amnesia that we experience and remember everything? Or are we not meant to be at that place yet?
We have the amnesia for a reason.
Mm.
You know, if we were suddenly, right, remembering, all of time is happening now. You've already ascended. You're already ascended. You know, it's all happening now. So if you could remember, you couldn't. We'd short circuit.
Yeah.
We're not meant to. This is a game. This is a game. This is the biggest VR for your soul. Okay, that's what it is. It's a game.
And speaking of that, what advice would you give to those who, I mean, I'm sure a lot of the attendees here are not feeling this, but maybe they are, I don't know.
Sorry, attendees.
But what advice, whereas like obviously this is recorded so other people will hear this afterwards, but for those that are maybe really in fear of the illusion right now, what kind of advice would you give to those on how to transcend the illusion, you know, not engage?
What are you talking about, you know, this thing that's crumbling right now and kicking up a fuss?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of people in fear,
yes,
as we know, and obviously we know that there is nothing to fear.
Yes.
What is the best advice? Yeah, what is the best advice to get them out of that fear?
Let this be your cup of tea, or something along these lines. Get a spiritual practice, because it is the only way we're going. I would imagine, you know, that being woke to stuff and not awakened to stuff is maybe even more terrifying than just being completely asleep. That's what I would imagine.
We had this conversation last time, didn't we, about,
you know, and so I would just urge you, because whichever way it's happened for you, whichever way the discomfort, you know, birth isn't always easy, you know, whichever way it's coming, and it's going to come globally, you know, we know this. Everyone's going to have to develop a spiritual practice, I believe. So I would get into that, you know, and you don't have to be immediately wearing tie-dye. I mean, I recommend it, but, you know, you don't have to immediately be into your unicorns. But I think to get a good idea, certainly at the very, look at ancient history, ancient civilizations, you know, that and yeah, I would, because we are so much more than we have been taught to believe. You know, we are amazing beings, and we can co-create a new world. You know, we can do it.
And I'm just being mindful of the time, but just before I open up the floor to everyone to ask questions directly if they wish to, I know that you wanted to take us through an activation.
Yeah, I mean, would everyone like a little soul stuff? What is the time?
8:05.
Yeah, well, I did promise a little. Well, we can just spend some time in there. So, I mean, am I talking to people that are like totally not familiar with the chakra system and this kind of stuff?
I think everyone is aware.
Oh, that's Christian.
A lot of people are saying yes, please, to the activation, so maybe we should go ahead with that, and then we can open it up if anyone else has questions, and if they don't feel comfortable asking, you can always write it in the chat and we can go from there.
Okay, so not only is the 3D matrix crumbling, but the 3D chakra system is becoming obsolete also as we move into this higher frequency. So it might help for you to close your eyes to settle in. Just relax and be open. And just becoming aware of your grid of light once more. See, our soul energy is boundless, it's infinite, it's eternal, it has a very, you know, elevated perspective. Your soul energy knows why you chose to incarnate at this time. So just breathing as you were, breathing up to the crown opening with the height of the inhalation. Just breathing down into the Earth Star. So we're going to be working with the Soul Star and the Earth Star. Now the Earth Star is connected to the crystalline grid of Earth. And the crystalline grid of Earth holds the blueprint for the original blueprint for every living thing in and around Earth. The original blueprint. And the Soul Star, which is a foot above your head. Start breathing up and into the Soul Star, just opening the Soul Star with the breath. Soul Star is a sphere of pink energy with a blue plasma light at its center and a plasma light, blue plasma light all around. And as the name suggests, connects you with your soul, your eternal aspect, and all of your timelines, all of your lifetimes in all directions of time, in all planes of existence, in all dimensions. And just getting a sense that as you breathe up and into the Soul Star, you're gathering some of that light in the breath and allowing it to cascade down into your body. Pink and blue light. Just flowing down from your Soul Star. That light that contains the original template for your soul. The original blueprint for your DNA. All of your gifts, your abilities. Your wisdoms. And just allowing anything that is right for you now. Any wisdoms, gifts, abilities to help you on your path to ascension, so that you can start to embody your soul's energy in the physical plane. Just allowing that light to flow down into your body, into each and every cell of your body, into the DNA. Your DNA drinking in the light from your Soul Star and the information you are ready to receive. fire letters and codes, waking up your DNA. Reversing any interference that has happened to your DNA. Allowing you to evolve into your true sovereign self. As you remember the power of creation that you are. All of that fear of how we can possibly create a new world just dissolves away. Allowing the higher light of your soul to raise the frequency, raise your quotient of light. Allow this light to start to awaken those dormant aspects in your DNA. That are ready to come online in service of you and the divine and the all. Just feel that light pulsing like a wave, activating your entire physical makeup. And allowing that light from your soul star to start to radiate out into the cellular memory. In all directions of time, space, and beyond, through time, timelines, all dimensions or planes of existence, the multiverse. Just welcoming in your soul's energy, expansive, accepting, sovereign, free. Just allowing that light and those codes to rain down into your entire life experience. Sending freedom, peace, sovereignty, truth, harmony, unity. Into the future of your timeline. And then just grounding that light, grounding your soul star energy into the earth star. And your consciousness coming firmly back into your physical body. You might want to start to move your physical body as you allow your consciousness. You're going to seal in all of that light, seal in that activation, sealing with ultraviolet light, sealing your field, sealing all of your chakras. Okay. Well, whoever wasn't into it, you all did an absolutely amazing job there. Jeepers creepers.
Thank you so much. That was so beautiful, Myra.
It's my pleasure.
Your activations and your meditations have such a different effect on me compared to any other ones that I listen to on YouTube. It's just, it's crazy.
Alien technology.
I just want to, before we finish, open up the floor to a few questions, if you don't mind. If anyone would like to ask Myra some questions, please put a little X in the chat box just so I can
no maths or geography.
filter it through. Otherwise, please just feel free to write your question in the chat box directly if you don't feel comfortable asking Myra.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
I'll just wait for some questions to come through.
So this is, I normally do Q&A before I do a session. Because everyone's
out.
Yeah, well, everyone is just, but you know, people might have questions that arise over the next while because
I have a question.
Hi,
how are you doing?
Yeah, good. How you doing?
I meditate a lot.
Yes.
But I sometimes have trouble with like visualizations and being able to like hold a firm image. Do you have any advice or anything to help in that area to,
Yeah, hang on, let me just
further
turn
that?
music down a little bit because it's a bit loud, it's a bit distracting. Yeah, seeing is also not my primary strength. It's kind of developed again. It's another thing that has developed in time. So are you kind of talking about, like, if someone says, "Oh, visualize the color purple"?
No, the color purple is easy, but
Oh no, that's
like
just an example.
more intentful, like sometimes like more ritualistically, sometimes you have to visualize you know, pentagram or a flaming circle or things of that nature. Or there's exercises sometimes that ask you to like visualize like a ball in your hand and visualize yourself setting it down and then maintaining the memory. And I was wondering if maybe you had any exercises or any type of advice on how I could improve that skill, or if that's not your primary skill, if there's an alternative skill that would be just as effective.
Yeah, so because it can be trick, because we're all different things will activate at different times. Sometimes I get really jealous of other people's visual abilities, and then I remember how well I can feel. So it might be, and you might be something that you want to kind of investigate outside of meditation. Okay, if I imagine holding the ball, what does it feel like? Do you know what I mean? What would
Right.
that feel like to me? Or you might just be more auditory right now, and you might even have that kind of conversation going in your head. I know that there's a big thing about stilling the mind. I tell you, I've never got there. I can go into other time, but my mind is a constant creative thing, and I can set it aside, but yeah, so even if you are running some kind of, like, if I had a ball, it would probably feel like this. And do you know what I mean? If you were talking to yourself, as long as it made you present, then and be, have compassion for those bits that are maybe. But another thing that might be happening is that you might be really brilliant at visualizing. And and very quick, so you might be just doing it so quickly that and then you've already got it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
when I'm guiding meditation, I always say to people, I'm your guide. If I say pink and you see whatever, great. If I say go into a under the stairs cupboard, which you probably wouldn't in meditation, to be fair, but if I did, and you go into a crystal cave, great. It's a guide for you really to explore your own, and I think I'm wondering though, my intuition for you is feeling might be a real, starter point. And maybe just outside of meditation, because when you're trying to meditate, you're trying to get into this zone. And then the ego can kind of kick off, like, oh, for God's sake, why can't you visualize a pentacle, you know what I mean, or whatever, pentacle. So yeah, it might be just something that you want to practice outside. But then that's the thing, I think I've meditated, I'm 47. My mum first had me in meditation when I was 4. She's a yoga teacher. So I've done it this whole time. And then whenever I try to, it might just be that you're a meditation guide. It might just be that when you actually sit and just say you were just paying attention to your breath. Because as soon as I get into the bath and I just start paying attention to my breath, then all of that stuff that I just said, it just starts coming through. Like I can't
Right.
shut it up. It just comes. It's just I'm meditating and just saying it out loud. That was what just happened.
Right.
I didn't have a plan for this evening, so sorry if that showed. But I just prefer to go with what we've got in the room at that moment, and you know. But I would just explore. I reckon you're a feeler. That's my feels. Does that resonate?
I'm a little bit of a feeler. I feel. Yeah, you could say that. I have feelings about a lot of external things. Internally. Yeah. I'm very empathic. I feel what others feel.
What happened there?
Sorry.
I don't know.
Sorry, someone came in and wasn't.
Yeah. So you're empathic. So that might just be the way to go, like to start to sort of go with how would that feel? Because I definitely could feel a color before I could see a color. I knew what green felt like. Because that was my prime. But now I can get quite strong visuals, and actually it's it's increasing. This is the thing, it's the gift that keeps on giving, I tell you. I just want to live forever.
Do you have any information in the world of like lucid dreaming, maybe?
Lucid dreaming, I also haven't.
I don't mean to hog your time. If anyone else has a question, I'll gladly mute. I don't mean to take up. Sorry.
You can message me about lucid dreaming, or maybe we could do another session on lucid dreaming.
That would be a good one.
Fair enough.
Does anyone have any questions that they would like to ask?
Hi. Can I ask?
Hi. I have one question.
We'll start with Kirsty, and then Nima will come.
I don't know who to go first.
Okay. Yeah, is that okay?
Where's Kirsty? Let me see Kirsty.
Hi.
Do waving. Hang on. Where are you? No. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I wanted to say thank you for all your work and everything. We watch you a lot.
Me
and it's
too.
really
it's
good.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've got ADHD, so thanks for bearing with me.
It was just to say you were talking about things crumbling, and I find a lot just now over this period of time with what's happening in the universe that I feel like I'm being attacked a lot by people and things, and I would like to ask just about protection. I know about crystals and sage and healing, and I just wanted to know like a powerful protection.
Do you know what the mother fudgers hate more than anything? Is love. They hate that shit. They can't stand it. They can't, because if you just look at one of those little. Now, I've had a lot of experience. Like, I've been doing exorcisms on people for a long time.
Wow.
So there is no, I mean, I say that, if you put me in front of a 30-foot reptilian, maybe I would have a skid mark or two. But, energetically, the best thing we can do is get ourselves into a state of pure love, because then we are useless to them. Do you see what I mean? Like, this whole, we don't want to feed the fears, we just don't want to feed the fears. So and also when we start to activate, there's a kind of, there might be a time where you are more sort of sensitive to that kind of stuff. But the thing is, know this, right? Nothing can attach to you, be implanted into you, whatever unless you agree to it on some level. Okay. Yeah, we agree to everything. Okay, it just can't happen, and it might have happened in another dimension, it might have happened in another timeline, but we can still get to it. So I'm happy to put some resources up. In fact, I want to do I did a session which was a sovereignty and freedom and a dark vow break, and I'll send it to you. So if you just message me, and anyone else who would like that session, who wasn't on the session, That was a good one. But yeah, so the reason we would have these agreements with, I don't know, attachments, entities, parasites, whatever we might have going on, is because actually they help us speed through our karma. They help us. They're helping. I know. So it's like, oh, thank you for. I had an implant from the age of 4 until I was 44, and I just lived with it my whole life. You know. And so, you know, but when I was ready to take back my sovereignty, like, no, I will not agree to anything unless it's in my handwriting. I don't agree to any of it, right? I am sovereign. I have total authority over my body and my mind and my spirit. And that's the attitude. That's the attitude right there in the nuts.
Could I just quickly show you a painting I did? It was this, and I think, is it Alchemist? You said about a ball in your hand. And that's a painting I did of a ball in someone's hand. And
What,
it's got
just,
some stars
wow. Oh
on
my
it
God,
as well.
how amazing.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
It just reminded me of this painting.
Collective consciousness. We all knew that.
Yes, exactly.
We've all been here before. Listen,
Thank you.
Listen, Earth is fine, right? I'm telling you now. I'm from the future. You're from the future. We're all from the future. It's all okay. The light's already won. All this shebang was done in 2012. This is the hangover. This is the hangover, the transition period where we're just going, okay, we're going to let go and transmute everything that we need to, that's happened in this 3D situation, so that we can all just, yeah, man, we're going to learn through some love and harmony. Going to remember. Going to remember ourselves.
Exciting. Nima, did you have a question for Myra?
Nima, where are you? There you are.
Hi. I'm a little shy. Okay, let's go. I want to know some tips on how to stay in the neutral zone. So, like basically like with our light and dark inside of our being, how to stay in this neutral zone.
Love it all.
Do you know what I'm asking?
Love it all, because if you love it all, then nothing's any more than anything. You know, do you know what I mean? It's we've been learning through this kind of state of duality, very harsh duality and separation, and the game is to come back to unity. So yeah, we all have light and dark aspects. God created suns and tsunamis, you know, embrace it all. You know, just make sure, this is a thing, I would be making sure that you are purifying your energy field of anybody else's consciousness that is not your own. That's where I would do a lot of starting out. Where was she? Did she leave?
Sorry, my alarm went off. Okay.
Where are you?
I'm still here.
I want to see your face. Any tips to stay neutral? Don't judge anything too much. Nothing means more than anything. Nothing means anything until we put some kind of meaning to it. Where are you? Literally, I can't see you. Yeah? Oh, there you are.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so wanting to get into a state of neutral, what a great way to learn about non-judgment, you know, and acceptance of all parts, meeting every aspect with I think the more you purify, you know, the more you purify, the less the pendulum swings. Do you know what I mean? The more do you mean to kind of stabilize your mood or emotions, or
to stabilize the mood, or like, can you hear me even though you can't see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so I'm talking about like also dealing with like indifferent, like things that are indifferent from ourself.
Do you mean other people's
Like a different
opinions?
person, a personality,
A
or just like
different
their
person?
presence.
Are you talking kind of about how to handle a difficult personality, someone that's triggering you?
Yeah, that's right.
So we love a trigger because it's a teacher. You know, well, you know, I'm just, oh, I tell you, I love it all. If someone triggers me, I know that I'm just about to, you know, be able to release something else that is not part of who I truly am, you know, because if we get triggered, what is happening is something's happening in the present moment that is resonating with energy that we've probably suppressed, you know? Okay. So that energy kind of comes rushing in if we're having a big trigger. Unless you're dealing with an absolute idiot, in which case, you know, you can exercise the law of discernment. Yes. Do I want this idiot in my life that wants to trigger me, that wants to goad me to the point where, you know, so, you know, I do often, you know, if someone triggers me, I've got something within me that needs rinsing, you know? So I'm grateful. But if I've got someone who is, you know, gaslighting, then I would use discernment and I would use probably a separation tactic.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone else have any more questions for Myra? I have one actually, if no one else has one.
Who's that?
It's still me. I feel that one of my strongest gifts is intuition.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't listen to it. Sometimes it feels weaker some days than others. How can I strengthen my intuition? Because I feel like that's my strongest gift.
Cool. Yeah, that's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah.
How can you strengthen that? Well, it's quite subtle, isn't it? Because intuition can seem like a thought, you know, that we might just ignore. So I guess it's kind of developing a deep trust with yourself, you know, a trust that you do know your own feelings about something. I would say that again is meditation.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it can seem the same, but the feeling of the voice of intuition is a different feeling to the voice of your ego self. It's different. Because, you know
the difference.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes it, like you say, it can be so subtle that I'm like, is that
I
what
know.
Like, and I want it to be clear. I'm really impatient. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I really want it to be clear. Tell it to me loud and clear. I want it to, you know what I mean? I want it to be like that all the time.
Yeah, well, the clearer, you know, the clearer our, the more stable our emotions, the more space we have between thoughts, the less identifying with form and self we are doing, the more we will open up to our intuition. Because our intuition, that's, you know, there's no private mind, but that's definitely not a private mind. You know, there's no like, oh my God, I'm so great, I just created something great. You're just a vessel, you know, and so you just, so yeah, just more and more letting go, and yeah, just getting to know that feeling. Like I have a certain, I call it a plasmagasm, when I'm getting an intuitive, just a knowing.
Yes.
I know it. I know it. Don't always act on it, because I've also got, you know, I'm a human.
Exactly. Yeah, I could be. Right. Thank you for that. I'll just feel it more, basically.
Yeah, and work on what rises, the patience.
Patience, I'm not great at.
Yeah.
I'm getting there. I know the things that I need to work on, to be honest. Compassion is another one that I'm trying to work on.
Well, there you go. That's kind of the opposite of patience. Impatience, rather. What was I going to say? Yeah, what do you want to use your intuition for?
I guess more guidance. I feel, well, for a long time, and I know that I can be very lazy with my meditation, but for a long time, I feel really lost in my purpose. And and because I'm quite impatient, and I could be quite lazy, I I want all the answers in front of me, and I want that direction. Like I want a signpost telling me to go that way. I don't want to have to try and guess or figure it out. Do you know what I mean?
And what if your life lesson is to learn compassion and flexibility and patience?
I do feel that's my life lesson, if I'm honest with you. I feel like that is part, I keep asking, like, what is my mission here? Like,
yes, once you've done
it,
if you've acknowledged it, like, oh, I'm impatient.
Yeah.
Right, that's the lesson. If it keeps on cropping up, I need to learn this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm going to incarnate again to learn the same lesson. Like, but we can just go through the lessons. Once they're done, they're done. Oh, I need to learn compassion and patience.
Those are my two major ones. I have to be honest, yeah.
So yeah, precious.
Progress.
It's all precious. Yeah, it's all progress. It's all precious.
So yeah, on that note, I just want to thank you for your time as well, because I know that we've gone a little bit over. If anyone else does have questions for Myra, I'm sure that they are welcome to get in touch with you directly, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate your time, and of course, I really appreciate everyone's attendance as well. Obviously, this was recorded on the YouTube if you wish to listen back. And
great. I would have done my hair. Look at it.
Audio, actually. It's usually audio, so.
You look like Marge Simpson.
Yeah.
Oh, it's audio. Oh, good. Great.
Yeah. Just because I don't like a lot of the.
Fair enough. Thanks, everyone. And thanks for holding space for one another. Let us just disconnect our energies. Pull our energies back in. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Lovely to spend time.
Bye. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.